So the WNBA is back today, and this is where we see, especially like, look, there are storylines in the WNBA season for this last 14 games. Some of the biggest storylines are still the Sky versus the Fever. I think Angel Reese is not out of the Rookie of the Year race by any means, but this is where we get to see these next. Within 3 games, it could be over. Caitlin Clark, huge favorite, way out in front at the minute, but it's not over. And Angel Reese has the opportunity. It's close enough that if Angel Reese just plays at a historically great level, she can steal it. Or not steal it, she can take it back. Rightfully take it back. And I will be live for this game today. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are looking to hit 26.4k by the end of the day. We're 29 away. But we have now got a game's going to be on Prime. It's at 1 a.m. I will be live for it, my time. I'm going off to a music festival like 3 hours after this is done. So, gonna be rough. So today's games, you've got Formality. You know what? Brittany Sykes being back and Shakira Austin being back. This might not be a Formality. Probably the first game it is, and Formality. This is the game that matters. This is Camila Cardoso versus Brittany Griner, who, according to 2K, is the 5th best player in the WNBA. I don't get it twisted. The WNBA have ranked... Oh. Wow. 2K trying to be politically correct. I'll talk about that. But it makes no odds. But either way, we have got the Phoenix Mercury against the Chicago Sky. And this is where we really see what the Sky are made of. Because the Sky, as currently constructed, is not a very well-constructed roster. I'm not saying the players are bad. I'm saying that the thing that both Angel Reese and Chennedy Carter need as much as anything to succeed are floor spacers. They had one floor spacer who is no longer with the team. So, I don't know how this works. And again, this is not a knock on the players. This is a knock on the GM. I do not understand how a team that pretends the 3-point line doesn't exist is going to survive out there. But I could be wrong. We're looking right here, potentially, at a really gritty team. Like, Onion Ware has been good since she played. I know, again, only 3.6 points per game, 0.4 assists. She's not played many minutes. But you can see, she was playing a bit towards the end. She had 14 against the Liberty, 7 against the Dream and a win, and 9 in a win against the Aces. She was a former Rookie of the Year, and she is someone who has played her way into getting a spot in this rotation. Is it going to be interesting for her to get that instead of Marina Mabry? Maybe. I think it's a downgrade on Marina Mabry, but especially for fit, I don't even know if she's worse than Marina Mabry. But it's just fit-wise. I think fit-wise, Marina Mabry is much better. And then we obviously saw the Chennedy Carter crap on social media. I think that is not going to affect the team whatsoever. Because unlike what everyone in my own comment section says, that decides not to watch the video, Chennedy Carter is not taking it out on her teammates. Chennedy Carter is just basically screaming from the heavens that she's the best player on this team. Which she is. It's not... I can guarantee you if Chennedy... Again, it's not a knock. She's not trying to... go at Angel Reese, because I think if you asked her who's the Rookie of the Year, her answer would be Angel Reese. Like, if you asked her who is Chennedy Carter good, she would probably say, or say not Chennedy Carter, is Caitlin Clark good? She would probably say Caitlin Clark sucks. Like, that's genuinely, I think, just the way she is. Either way, Chennedy Carter is going to be what makes or breaks this team, because Phoenix have no answer for Chennedy Carter. Like, if I'm Nate Tibbetts, I might just sacrifice Cat Copper. Do what you did against Indiana. Sacrifice Cat Copper on Chennedy Carter and you win the game. And that's now kind of one of the issues with Chicago Sky is if you lock down Chennedy Carter, I think game's over. I think they're now so reliant on Chennedy Carter that it's going to be really tough for the Sky. But again, this is where we can see what they're all about. Like, again, Onion Ware could be a superstar. for all we know. But I think the Mercury are a tough team to come back towards because you've got Tash Cloud, who's a good point guard. You got Taurasi, who has a point to prove and has been a good WNBA player this year. You've got Brittany Griner, who I think is just better than Cardoso. At this point in her career is better. I think maybe in a year or two, not quite. I think she's better than Cardoso. And in Cat Copper is Cat Copper. But we're coming into this game really more so if you're looking at it from the perspective of the Sky about two players. It's can Chennedy Carter keep up the hot streak and how Angel Reese is going to look as the de facto second option. Not even de facto second option, as the out-and-out second option. I think that on the offensive end, it's going to be interesting because it goes, like, it could go either one of two ways. Like, Angel Reese, I think a lot of her layup misses, again, we saw, they come in spells. Like, her poor shooting games, if you look at her play-by-play, her game-by-games, WNBA doesn't have stats? What? Doesn't even have stats right now. Oh, this website's a joke. But basically, it comes in bunches. So she goes through kind of cold slumps, like a 5-17, 3 of 13. Like, she might go 3 or 4 games in a row where she shoots poorly, but then she has 5 or 6 games where she shoots above 50%. So she either seems to have on the offensive end scoring-wise really good or really bad games. I think that that's kind of evens out. I do think it evens out. If you're asking for my prediction, I think she shoots probably close to 50% the rest of the year. If Angel Reese, as the number 2 option, gets the Chicago Sky into, heck, even into the playoffs, because with the team they have with lack of a three-point line, that's not going to be easy to not even make up, for Atlanta to not make up those 3 games. I think Atlanta are going to be really good towards the end of the year. So it's going to be tough for them to make the playoffs. If they do, especially with her as a second option, and that field goal percentage goes up, the Chicago Sky are dangerous. They are, especially if they can find a way to get an Odyssey Sims. If they add Odyssey Sims to this team, they're better than the Fever. They're better than the Fever. I'm putting it out there. If you add Odyssey Sims to the Chicago Sky team, as great as Caitlin Clark is, as great as Aaliyah Boston is, they're better because they're better coached. They play more defense. So it's going to be really interesting. And I do think for Angel Reese, as far as her individual matchups, I think she's got a pretty good one today. Like, she's matching up probably at times against Mac. The Phoenix Mercury are not, like, super stacked at that power forward position. Like, you've got Herbert Harrigan, you got Mac. They've got no real depth at that forward position other than Brittany Griner. So I do think this is going to be a big first game. This is going to be a statement game for Angel Reese. My prediction is I'm going to guess 15-15 for Angel Reese. I'm going to guess Chennedy Carter 22 points. But I also think the Mercury are going to have too much. This is a complete this has to be a statement game for both of these teams. And this is why it's such an interesting game. Because Taurasi was embarrassed at the Olympics, but her legacy took a hit. She's got to come straight out because people are watching this game. People are watching this game. Kat Copper, until the final, barely got on. She's got to prove. She's her. Tash Cloud should have made Team USA. She's got a point to prove. Brittany Griner probably didn't play as much as she thought she would have. All the Mercury have a point to prove. The Sky have a point to prove. This is going to be a tough, grinded out game both ways. And I think that it's going to be a very, very interesting game to watch.